Hello, this is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Today is December 30th, 2023, and this is my weekly market review where I'm reviewing the NASDAQ 100, that's QQQ, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only. As we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right. Let's just jump right over here to the charts. I hope you guys all had a great year, and I wish you guys a happy new year. And let's make that money next year, just like we did this year. Just keep it rolling. And struggled a little bit with small accounts, but the other accounts did well. But let's take a look here. What we're looking at here on the NASDAQ. I hadn't really looked at this big picture here. Let's zoom in on the quarterly chart. Go back to the phone head. Do it this way. The NASDAQ, as we was expected, it did make all-time highs here before the end of the year, like I was expecting. But now that we're at this high, is it time to make a pullback? That's the question that we're going to be asked. We need to ask right now. Let me do something. The pivot point is right here, down in here. Let me remove these lines. Let me remove at least one of these lines. I'm going to edit, remove drawing, where you can see that. The pivot is here. So we're going to be opening up above pivot. You know, it won't be like last year where we had a couple of years ago where it was below pivot. It won't be like, you know, last year where we was opening below pivot and had to drive all the way up above pivot, but we was forming a bottom at the end of that year back there. Right now we're at a top. It's kind of like this right here. We've been driving up all quarter, all year long, and we're at a top. Will we get something like this again? I hope not. I can hope in this case. I expect not to, but we have to kind of like wait and see. You know, but we are at a top, so be very careful. Manage your positions and all, and like I say, be careful. But let's go ahead and down to a monthly chart and let's see what we see on the monthly chart. As we can see, we had two real strong months here at the end of the year. We had we just below an R3 level. Like I said, next year even on these pivots, we're going to be opening above the pivot. So I kind of do expect us to go higher. And all the thing is, how much higher, you know, and when will we get that pullback? Right now, the NASDAQ is just at the beginning of that point where it's getting, like I would say, it's getting extended. This is our 10 moving average. When it's getting too far off that, you know, you kind of expect it at some time to come back to it. But last time on the month, it went, what? 1, 2, 3, 4 months, you know, before it even started thinking about coming back. But we will get our warning that this thing might be getting ready to turn over when we start getting some of these red candles on a monthly picture. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the weekly picture and see what we see there. On the weekly picture, we ended up the year with a doji. So let me zoom on in here a little bit more where you can see a little bit better. And we ended up with a doji with a new high for the year. And an all-time high. But that doji can tell us, that's telling us that we could be ready to start forming a top and turn over. But before, when we had a doji, we just ended up with a little bit of a pullback, and this thing ended up going higher. So again, like I say, just be mindful of what you're doing, and trade your plan your trades, and be ready for anything at the beginning of this year and see what's going to happen. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the daily noise and wrap this on up. See on the daily picture here, we already, you know, formed that top and rolling over. You know, the question is now once you start looking at this, and we're going to be opening below pivot. So how far down do you expect this thing to drop, and all before it starts on its way back up? Or are we going to have a real crazy like drop below 400 since there's a gap way down here? It's not way down there. It's only 12 points down. But there is a little gap here. So there's room for this thing to turn over and to pull back a little bit. So be mindful of your positions. Be mindful of your trade. Trade wisely. Have a great year. And I'll talk to you next year. Have a good one. Bye.